So do you also use Elementor and Notion for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to add Elementor Form responses in Notion. So over here I'm running a real estate agency, and for that we use Elementor to gather the details of our potential customers. So now what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, which is as soon as we receive a new lead or we receive a new inquiry with the help of the same form submission, I want to add that details into my Notion database so that we can follow up quickly and efficiently. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Elementor and Notion. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So I'm going to do all of this so that I can convert my potential clients into paying clients. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen.
Welcome to my screen everyone. So as you know that you are here to learn about how to add Elementor Form responses in Notion. So I've already mentioned in my introduction that I manage a real estate agency and we use Elementor Forms on our website to capture the leads from the potential clients interested in our properties. So to streamline our lead management, we want to set up an automation that transfers each lead from Elementor Form submission directly into my Notion database. This setup allows our team to organize and track every inquiry in one place, making the follow-up easy. But as you know that Notion and Elementor doesn't have any native connection. So in order to connect both of these applications, we are going to use an amazing automation software which is Pabbly Connect. So yes, in order to do this, I've already opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the other one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 hours free every month. But over here I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in, and as soon as we're going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly, but in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect's account, and as soon as we're going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we are going to click on this button which is create workflow, and as soon as we're going to click on this, it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I've already created in which I save my workflows. So if you wish to learn how to create a new folder or a subfolder, you can click on this hyperlink given right over here which says learn more, and now it is asking for the workflow name. So I want the workflow name to be this, which says how to add Elementor Form responses in Notion, Elementor to Notion, and then we're going to click on create, and as soon as we're going to click on create, it is opening the most important window for automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands of the trigger. So by this you can finally understand that the actions are the response towards the commands by the trigger. So as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. And in order to start with our automation, we have to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Elementor right over here because I want that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically my workflow should be triggered. And now it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. So over here what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is made, my workflow should be triggered or started. So I'm going to select my trigger event as same, and as soon as we're going to select the trigger event, it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Elementor account and our Pabbly's workflow. So what we're going to do is first we're going to copy this webhook URL and then we're going to follow this help text, and it is saying sign into your Elementor account, locate and edit the form that you wish to integrate. Within the form settings, navigate to the actions after submit section. So yes, I'm going to follow the same. I'm going to open my Elementor account right from here. So as you can see that I've already opened my WordPress account, and Elementor is a plugin of WordPress. So now after opening this from the left side of the bar, you can see Elementor. So we have to go on this, and as soon as we're going to go on this Elementor, you can see that I've successfully opened my Elementor. So I'm going to go on the form I wish to integrate, right? So here you can see that this is the form I wish to integrate with my workflow, or the form in which I want to create this automation. So I've opened this form, and over here you can see the button of edit with Elementor. So I'm going to click on this button which says edit with Elementor, and as soon as we're going to click on this button right over over here, it is going to open the elements. Over here you can see all the elements of my form, right? So what we have to do is we have to select the elements right from here. We are going to scroll down, and as you can see, actions after submit. So yes, we have to go on this right from here, and now it is saying add action. So what we have to do is we are going to add the action as webbook right over here. So I'm going to look for webbook, and as you can see the same, so we're going to add it. And as soon as we're going to add webbook right over here, you can see it appeared right over here too. So I'm going to open it, and now it is asking me for the webbook URL. So what you're going to do is we are going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And after pasting this URL, we are going to click on this button which says publish. So it is a really important step to publish this, otherwise the changes will not be saved. And as soon as we're going to click on publish, yes, with this we have successfully published this, and also with this we have successfully created a connection between our Elementor account and our Pabbly's workflow. But as you can see that it is saying waiting for a webbook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webbook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we have to do is we have to test this webbook URL, and in order to do this, I'm going to do a form submission with the same form which I connected recently with my workflow. So I'm going to open that form. Over here you can see the button of preview. So I'm going to go on this preview, and we're going to submit this form with the demo inquiry. Okay, I'm going to enter the test details right over here. So it is saying first name. Let's suppose that I'm going to keep it as demo, last name user. For the email, I'm going to keep it as demoUser@pabblytunes.com. For the phone number, I'm going to keep it as this. It is saying property type. So let's suppose that for the property type, I'm going to keep it as residential property. And then we're going to click on the send button right over here. And as soon as we're going to click on send, yes, you can see your submission was successful. So yes, with this, we have successfully did the test submission. And now what has happened is that Elementor has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response for the same or not. So I'm going to open my workflow, and yes, you can see Pabbly has captured response A right over here. You can see all the details which you entered, right? You can see the property type, you can see the phone number, you can see the last name, the first name, and the email which we entered. So as soon as we are going to receive these details, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what will happen is that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically my workflow would be triggered or started. So now we are going to move on towards our action step. And now for my action application, I'm going to select it as Notion, because what I want is I want to add these form submission details into my Notion database, right? So for the action application, I'm going to search for Notion right over here, and as you can see Notion, so we're going to select it. And now it is asking me for the action event. So for the action event, I'm going to select it as create database item, and then we're going to click on connect. And as soon as we're going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected a Notion account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and then we have to click on this button which says connect with Notion. So I'm going to click on this button right over here, and as soon as we're going to click on this button which says connect with Notion, over here you can see that it is asking me for some permissions. So yes, I'm going to give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also give the permissions because Pabbly is safe. Okay, and over here it is saying select pages, so I'm going to select the pages for which I want to give the permissions. So as you can see that I want to create this automation for a single page which is this new leads. Okay, so I'm going to give the permission for the same page only, which is new leads. And over here you can see that I've given the permission for the same, and now I'm going to click on allow access. If you wish, you can definitely give it for all the pages too. And as soon as we're going to click on allow access, yes, you can see authorization successful. With this, we have successfully connected our Notion account with our Pabbly's workflow, and now it is asking me for the database name. So over here it is new leads for me, because as you can see that this is the database I wish to add the details in. And over here, if you selected all the database, you're going to select right from here your desired. Okay, we're going to move on forward. It is saying property type, last name, email, phone number, first name. So you must notice that these are the same details which we have right over here in our Notion as columns, right? So we're going to enter these details right over here too, but we are not going to enter it manually, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping, right? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Elementor as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm going to give you an example that it is asking me for the property type, right? So let's suppose that I'm going to enter the property type right over here manually by typing it like this. Then this will not change with every new response received, because this is a static information and I've entered it manually. But if you're going to map this from the previous response, suppose you can see the property type. So let's suppose that we're going to map this from the previous response, then this will definitely change, because my previous response response will also change. So that's why you do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. And now it is asking me for the last name. So here for the last name, we are going to map user. We are going to move forward. We are going to map the email right over here too. We are going to move forward. It is saying phone number. So yes, we're going to map the phone number too. I'm going to look for phone number, and as you can see, the same. So we're going to map it. And yes, we're going to map the first name too right over here, which is demo. And after mapping all of the details which were required, I'm going to go forward and click on this button which is save and send test request. And as soon as we're going to click on this button, yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully added these details into our Notion database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Notion and check for the details added. So I'm going to open my Notion right from here, and yes, you can see the details have been added. You can see name demo, you can see the last name, the email, the phone number, and the property type which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So what we are going to do is I'm going to open my form again right from here, and we're going to do another test submission with the new details so that we can test our workflow in real time. So it is saying first name, so let's suppose I'm going to keep it as test, last name as user. For the email, we are going to keep it as test@pabblytudes.com. For the phone number, I'm going to keep it as this. And now it is asking for the property type. So let's suppose I'm going to keep it as industrial property, and then we're going to click on send. And as soon as we're going to click on send, yes, you can see your submission was successful. So yes, with this we have successfully did another test submission, and once again Elementor has captured the details of our test submission and sent it towards our workflow. Further, Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further added these same details into our Notion database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Notion and check for the new details added in our database. But this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my Notion right from here, and yes, you can see the details have been added. You can see the first name, you can see the last name, you can see the email, the phone number, and the property type already added right over here in my Notion database without any manual efforts, simply with the help of this workflow. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So for the trigger application, we selected Elementor. For the trigger event, we selected new form submission. For the action application, we selected Notion, and then for the action event, we selected create database item, because I wanted that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Elementor, automatically with the help of the same details, a new database item should be created in my Notion too, which is I wanted to add the lead details in my Notion too. And yes, we were successful with our workflow too. Over here you can see the two lead details added during this video with the help of my workflow in my Notion database. So yes, this setup allows our team to organize and track every inquiry in one place, making it easy to follow up, assign leads to agents, and monitor client preference and interaction. By centralizing our lead data in Notion, we improve our efficiency, stay organized, and ensure that no opportunity slips through the crack. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.